The first stop, Longhorns. Season opened yesterday away from home for the first time since 1995, but it was an all-Texas sellout crowd at Reliance Stadium. Mac Brown's 13th season as head coach of the Longhorns, and early on, Texas not quite ready for Taylor McHargue, the redshirt freshman quarterback from Vista Ridge, running that zone read and running it well. Longhorn defense stiffens, though. Check out Sam McGuffey. Sam, we'd like you to meet Keyston Randall. That wasn't a very pleasant meeting. Rice does get a field goal on their first offensive possession. First offensive possession for Texas. They talked about the emphasis on the ground game. A lot more on that. We saw Cody Johnson rip off some big chunks, but we saw the offense stall down by the goal line. Fourth down, they go for it. They throw the toss sweep. Rice stuffs them, and the Owls, well, they're living large right now. Disappointing first drive for the Longhorns. And then the defense making plays. Keyston Randall with a beautiful interception. Shockey Brown, just in case they called that ball loose. That leads to Justin Tucker's first field goal as Longhorns place kicker, so Horns tied up at 3. Garrett Gilbert, the debut as a starter, solid. Malcolm Williams figures to have a big year. Strong move there to get a first down. Trey Newton didn't start, but he finished several drives. Touchdown right there. And then the Longhorns had a 10-3 lead. More defense. Check out the hit right here by Kenny Vaccaro, and he did a bunch of hitting yesterday. And then it is Sam Acho, the sack leader from last year, with over 10. And Keenan Robinson says, thank you very much. How about a defensive touchdown? And Vaccaro even hits his own guy. 17-3. And then a near touchdown for Shockey Brown. Instead, it's just an incompletion. Longhorns trying to add on. That's the best throw of the day for Garrett Gilbert. John Childs takes a beating on the hit. That leads to another Trey Newton touchdown. It's 24-3, everything in hand for the Horns. And then a freak play at the end of the half. Christian Scott cannot make the tackle with just seconds to go. And suddenly it's just a two-possession game. David Bailiff and Rice fired up as they go to the locker room. 24-10. How about the freshman Jackson Jeffcoat in on the sack with Emmanuel Acho? The defense really gave up nothing after that second drive until the very end of the game. Marquise Goodwin figures to have a big sophomore year. That little receiver screen nearly gets into the end zone, leads to yet another Trey Newton touchdown. He had the hat trick. More hitting. Aaron Williams right there with the big pop. That secondary highly vaunted. Will Muschamp and Dwayne Akina frustrated, though. Williams dropped a punt, leads to this Charles Ross touchdown as time wore out. Yeah, frustrating. 34-10 turns to 34-17. Nevertheless, a victory for the Horns away from home, and they get started 1-0.
They've already been gotten on. They had an attaboy and then got on. In fact, I think they had an attaboy and got on. So I think that's what they had. And, well, you've got to be really careful sending them a message that winning isn't enough, because that's a bad message. If they can't have fun by winning by a bunch of points in front of 70-something thousand people in Houston for an opener, if that's not fun for them, then what do they have to look forward to? My job is to make sure that they understand we appreciate the plays they made. 85% of the plays are great, but it's the 7 or 8 that get you beat that we have to go back and look at. So we will make sure that they understand we're proud. We'll make sure they understand that winning is hard and that 1-0 is really good, but make sure they understand you can't drop 2 touchdown passes, interceptions. You can't have all the things that we didn't do in a game like this come up for us to win all the games. And our goal is to win all the games. It's not to just win the opener. It's to win them all.
Just out there having more fun. I feel like first half we were a little tight. Then Coach Brown came in and told us, guys, we got to have fun out there. We've been working hard. Practice is the work. Games is the fun. So we just need to have more fun out there.
So, yeah, it was a win, and we're excited about the win. You know, you never want to overlook a win. But we know that we have some work to do. We didn't play to that standard that we always play to, and but we'll get it next week. We're not worried about it at all.
It was a lot of fun just to be able to get out there and, you know, compete against somebody else for the first time. We've been going against our defense all camp, and so it was good to go out and give ourselves a challenge and kind of see where we are.
Of course, one of the big topics of conversation surrounding the Horns since spring practice began in February, their renewed emphasis on the power running game. For more on that, here's Layla Rahimi.
The first impressions of the Longhorns this season were seen on the ground.
We knew coming in, you know, we had a feeling, we felt like we could run the ball effectively.
While the team marched down the field on the first drive, the final play was a run on 4th and goal that went bad.
I thought the running game was good. I didn't like the short yardage the 2 times we didn't make it. But we were physical. We had 3 backs that all made yards, and it looks like we're going to be able to keep 3 fresh backs in the game.
46 of the Longhorns' 70 plays were running plays. But when Mack Brown was asked about whether or not this team wants to run the ball more than pass, he would not commit to a definite game plan.
I'm at a point where I'd rather win. You know, I don't care. I really don't. Everybody, I liked Colt McCoy completing 80%. Some people didn't. It really bothered them. Is emotional, got counseling. I liked it. I like Garrett completing a bunch of passes tonight.
The Longhorns gained 197 yards on the ground, more than 49 yards than the team's average last year. And while the running backs may see more action, wide receiver Malcolm Williams says he doesn't mind sharing.
I say it's a little bit more different from, I guess it was more pass to run, now it's more run to pass. But at the same time, they go hand in hand with each other, so it's just one of those things you got to take it in stride and just try to make it work.
But you have to be a lot more patient than I am right now. I've got to continue to work on my patience. And you got to be a lot more patient as a team than we've been, because we've scored a lot of points really fast with Vince Young and with Colt McCoy. So we're pretty spoiled.
Patiently waiting, Layla Rahimi, KXAN, Austin News.
4th lowest point total in an opener under Mack Brown for Texas. Next up, home opener, it's Wyoming. Cowboys won their opener yesterday, 28-20 over Southern Utah. Horns won in Laramie last year against Wyoming, 42-10. Remember that one, though. They led just 13-10 at the half.